Bay Rays take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Hi again, everybody, and welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Todd Callis. I'm Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Whit Watson with us as well throughout the evening. Rays dropped the first game of this series last night, Todd. They've dropped a game back now in the wild card race, another day and another game off the calendar. They continue to look for offense, and Carl Crawford last night was something else. In fact, over the last couple of months, he really has accelerated his game.
He really has. We're seeing Carl Crawford at his best. We've watched him since he was a rookie, and this year he's putting it all together. See what he's done in the month of August. Roy Halladay allowed 8 hits. Half of those were to Carl Crawford. He started out with that little chopping base hit, then he had that double into the gap in left center. He would add another double, then a rocket past Aaron Hill. Crawford hits very well, not only against Halladay, but against this Toronto Blue Jay team. And his game this year, his at-bats, his approach at the plate, his defense, his all-around game, obviously leading the major leagues in steals, has been the best combination we've ever seen out of CC. And that's saying something because he's been an all-star in the past.
Yeah, and as the Rays right now rest 5 games back in the wild card race, chasing not only Boston but also Texas, they will turn their attention to the left-hander Scott Kazmir. Had a rough outing in Seattle, but prior to that, 2 very good outings here at home.
Those were really encouraging, and hopefully he can build on that. He's got out of sync in his last start, but you see his 2 prior starts at home. 2-0 with that 2.77 ERA. He's letting the ball go a little bit better since the All-Star break, finding that fastball velocity up into the low 90s once again. And Kaz hopefully can build on those 2 starts at home because he was not really comfortable in his last start. Never found that breaking ball and was wild with the fastball as well.
Well, the Rays 7-3 in the season series against the Toronto Blue Jays. As we see the matchup tonight, 2 lefties. Scott Kazmir trying to even his record. Brian Talent with a mark of 5-6. But more important for Kazmir, he's trying to get the Rays back on track. They're going to have to continue to dominate the season series against the Toronto Blue Jays. First pitch just around the corner. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Game 2 of a 9-game, very important homestand for the Rays. To you by Checkers. Little place, big taste. By your Southeast Toyota dealer. Get all the quality and reliability of a Toyota during Toyota's Best for Less sales event. Toyota, moving forward. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. The Rays take on the Blue Jays tonight. Game 2 of the series. It's a concert night. The B-52s are here, and it is sci-fi night at Tropicana Field. And as we go to Whit Watson, Whit, I can't help but feel that somehow we are underdressed.
Clearly, we did not get the memo about the stormtrooper look. Joe Maddon talking about what this team needs to do as they try to make a run at the wild card and perhaps at the AL East. In our Geico quote tonight, he says consistency across the entire pitching staff, night after night, start after start, is the key. It's what's going to get the Rays up top. It's our Geico quote.
We need the starting rotation to really put together several good starts in a row as a group. 5 good ones and 5 good ones, etc. And then that's going to be our best chance. We're not going to necessarily out-hit teams, but we can out-pitch them. And we can out-pitch them and out-catch them on defense.
That is our Geico quote. Scott Kazmir takes the hill tonight for the Tampa Bay Rays and hopefully delivers the kind of consistency that Joe Maddon is looking for. Dwayne?
Well, Kazmir in his last 2 home starts with a couple of wins, and they're hoping to get more of that here tonight. Starting lineup for the Toronto Ball Club. Marco Scutaro leads it off with Aaron Hill and Adam Lind, the top 3 hitters. Kevin Millar in the lineup, hitting cleanup in front of Vernon Wells. The DH is Randy Ruiz. Edwin Encarnacion is at third base. Jose Bautista is in right field, and Raul Chavez is the catcher. He will hit 9th.
Scott Kazmir making the start tonight for the Rays, his 18th start of the year. That'll be 9 after his stint on the DL to go along with 9 prior to the disabled list. Pitching against Toronto for the second time. Last time out was here at home, July 8th. Allowed 7 earned runs and 6 1/3 when he was faced up against Brian Talent. A game the Rays won 10-9. Today's defensive alignment brought to you by Sweet Bay Supermarket. Carl Crawford in left field. BJ Upton in center. Gabe Kapler getting a start against the lefty. Evan Longoria, Jason Bartlett, Ben Zobrist, and Carlos Pena, the Gold Glover. Deanna Navarro will get the start against the left-hander. That defense brought to you by Sweet Bay Supermarket, where saving you money is our passion.
Joe Maddon with the Rays now, trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. There's 61 and 54 starting play tonight. 36 of those wins coming at home, 36 and 19. And there's Cito Gaston, the skipper of the Toronto Ball Club. 11th season as a manager of the Blue Jays, his second stint. And boy, what a first stint he had as the manager of this ball club, winning the World Series back in '92 and '93. Well, it's Marco Scutaro to lead it off. He's hitting .296, and the first pitch is a strike call. So we're underway. Scutaro, Hill, and then Lind. Kazmir making his 18th start. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's 2-1. Adrian Johnson is calling the balls and strikes.
And that was a pitch Kazmir wanted. He felt like that had the outside corner, didn't get it. Gave an extra look inside to the umpire after that pitch.
That's down and in. So he's behind 3-1. Scutaro has been vastly improved this year at working the count. He's been one of the top leadoff men in the game. And he draws a walk to start this game. So Scudero goes to first.
So first pitch strike from Kazmir, then he misses just off the corner, then that breaking ball that he thought was a strike not called, then he misses with 2 more. The thing I was watching with Yonder Navarro, he set up for all 5 of those pitches right down the middle of the plate, and I think that may be the plan, at least early on, for Kaz to establish that strike zone. Now he's not going to be sitting on the corners.
Now Aaron Hill, and the first pitch to him is in there for a strike. Away, tried to throw a changeup there, and the count is 1-1. Kazmir had an issue with his command in Seattle against the Mariners on the 9th. Fly ball lifted into left. Crawford is there and makes the catch. That'll be the first out. Reminder, tonight's game is simulcast in Spanish. You can access this audio feature by selecting the built-in SAP option on your television. So a runner at first with 1 out. He threw back-to-back changeups to Hill and got him on the fly ball to left. Now here's Lynn. There's a strike.
First inning so important for every pitcher, but especially for Scott Kazmir. If Kaz can get in a good rhythm early in the game, it seems to really set him up well. If he's trying to search for that strike zone in the first inning, sometimes, like last start, it can throw his whole game off.
It's high. Yeah, against Seattle, he made 28 pitches in the first inning. Got out of that first inning giving up 3 runners but only 1 run. He misses high.
It's always been a battle for Kazmir. Over the last 4 years, nobody's averaged more pitches per inning than the Rays left-hander. Last night we saw the opposite end of that spectrum in efficiency with Roy Halladay, 14 pitches per inning, the best in the American League.
And no walks period in the game last night. Foul ball straight back. So the count squares. It's now 2-2. Neither team issued a walk. Last time that happened was in September of 07 against the Blue Jays. And James Shields was involved in that game. Ooh, he didn't miss by much. Kazmir hoping to get that fastball called a strike. But instead it's 3-2.
This pitch just a little bit high, I think. I think it catches the plate. It does, but I think Johnson called it just a bit high. Kazmir really wanted that pitch.
3-2, and he misses with that one up. So a couple of bases on balls. And you're right, he just did miss on that 2-2 pitch. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and it's about the same spot.
Tough pitches to take for Lind with 2 strikes, but both times he gets the call. That's very close as well. It's a tough sign for Kazmir early if he feels like he's got a smallish strike zone to deal with, because that can get into his head. So hopefully he'll be able to battle through here.
Here's Kevin Millar. And the pitch, there's a strike. A fastball to start him. Millar in the lineup tonight, the right-handed bat. He's hitting .235 lifetime against Kazmir. And the pitch drops low. It's 1-1.
You can see when Navarro's moving after the pitch is called, he's trying to pretend like he's moving to his side of the plate, but he's actually just jumping up and basically staying near the same spot.
And a fly ball lifted into right. Kapler will be there for this one and make the catch, and the runners are going to hold at first and second. So Millar's out of there. A couple of first inning walks, 2 gone. And now Vernon Wells is on his way to the plate.
So early on for Kazmir, a couple of walks, but he's trying to battle his way through it. He's learning that the high strike might not be called, which isn't necessarily a bad thing for him. The lower he stays in that strike zone with the fastball, like most pitchers, but Kaz, when he's working down around the knees, he can be very effective.
Wells at 255 for the year, but 12 of 30 lifetime against Kazmir. First pitch is a high fastball. So that figures out to a 400 average and 3 home runs in that mix for Wells against the Rays lefty. And a fastball by him. 1-1.
That's a good sign right there. Wells expecting the fastball. Still a little bit late. Powell tipping it into the mid of Deoner Navarro. Just straight heat right there.
And there's the strike call. Another fastball. And that one with a little extra on it. That's about the best fastball he's thrown in this inning.
And I think Navarro was looking for something else because it was almost as if the pitch caught him. He was on the inside part of the plate and he was expecting that ball to do something else. Watch Navarro's reaction to this pitch. It's on the inner half, and Navarro originally goes down like it's going to be a slider and move down, but then he changes his glove in midstream. That was a nice catch. He went out and made sure Kazmir and him were on the same page. And
it turned out to be a good pitch, well located. That's the best pitch he's located the entire inning. And it was a mistake. 1-2. Strike 3. A wave and a miss. So he strikes out Wells, leaving 2 men on base. We'll go to the bottom of the first. We have no score. Jason Bartlett's going to lead it off for the Rays. Deoner Navarro and DJ Upton.
Left-hander Brian Talent making the start tonight for Toronto, coming out of the bullpen as his last start was against the Rays July 25th. Last 2 times he has faced the Rays, the games have ended 10-9 in favor of Tampa Bay.
And here's Bartlett, the 3rd leading hitter in the American League. It's a ball. 1-0. Jason not only has been great in getting on base, his on base percentage is 6th, but he's also in the top 10 in slugging percentage. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. I mean, Bartlett has been such a great acquisition over the last couple of years for the Rays, but no one would have predicted this on-base percentage and slugging percentage combo that he has going on right now. 2-1. Except maybe Jason himself. He said last year, he said, look, I consider myself a good hitter. Well, he's more than that right now.
He's stronger. He worked out hard in the offseason, and he's maintained that strength all year.
Ground ball back at third, backhanded by Encarnacion, and he one-hops the throw to first to Millar to get Bartlett. So one away.
Pretty good play on both ends here. This is not an easy play down the line. Encarnacion gloves it. Then his throw is low, and a tough spot there. It did kind of skip off the artificial surface as Millar was able to make the catch on the other end. So two good picks on either side of the diamond for the Jays.
It's Carl Crawford. And he takes that pitch for a strike. Carl, 318 overall, 6th in the league in that category. And a foul ball will run the count to 0-2 against Talent. Take a look at our Toyota trend. Crawford's been very good against this left-hander, 5 of 12. Figures out to 417. And he takes a good look at a very close pitch. 1-2 now.
That's the pitch that used to always get Carl in the past, and he has done such a better job this year of redefining his strike zone, especially down in the count.
And a fly ball into left center field. That's going to be caught by Lynn. 2 outs.
So Toronto defense, best fielding percentage in the major leagues, has Adam Lynn in left field, Vernon Wells in center, Jose Bautista in right, Edwin Encarnacion, Marco Scooter, only 4 errors in 112 games, Aaron Hill, Kevin Millar, that's your infield, and Raul Chavez has been very good behind the plate throwing out base runners. Ryan Talent on the mound.
Well, here's Evan Longoria. Evan, 24 homers and 86 runs batted in, starting the day number 2 in the league, and RBIs, and a low liner caught by Encarnacion at third, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. On to the second we go. No score. The Rays all year long by logging on to The Heater, the official baseball blog of the St. Petersburg Times. Every day, Rays beat writers, and they're good ones. Mark Topkin and Joe Smith bring you thoughtful insight, breaking news, predictions, and more only at TampaBay.com. On to the second. Randy Ruiz takes a big cut and misses. Strike one. Ruiz, the DH, just recently joined the Toronto lineup and has a couple of home runs. Ground ball headed to Bartlett at short. Jason's throw to first in time. So a couple of pitches and one out. That brings up Edwin Encarnacion. Came over from the Cincinnati Reds. He was hitting .209 in the National League. And just a handful of at-bats here with the Blue Jays at 182. A little bit inside with a fastball. Casbear made 21 pitches in the first inning, a couple of walks, and left those two runners on. That's a strike. Marks out Adrian Johnson. 1-1 now. It's fouled back. A 1-2 count. Blue Jays come in 4 games under 500. As you'll recall, they got off to a great start this year. 2-2. But for the longest, they did not play inside the American League East. And so that really helped their numbers for the longest. And we're going to have a full count. That pitch inside. It's 3-2.
46 games in, this team still led the AL East. Then they ran into that 0-for road trip. They went 0-9 beginning with Boston.
3-2 pitch. Foul ball. We'll do it again. Well, they're still over 500 against the Central. In fact, well over. They're 19-11, and they're over 500 against the West, 13-10, but 16-27 against the East. Interesting how that breaks out, because the Rays really struggled against the West. Encarnacion is out on strikes. It'll be strikeout number 2.
Another look here. Kaz was ahead of the count early, then went to 3-2, and then he got Encarnacion chasing. He actually foul tipped this, and Navarro caught it cleanly. Nice play by the honor.
Now Jose Bautista. That's a strike. We talked about this on the West Coast trip. When you look at Toronto's numbers against the East and the West, he did not go on the appeal, says Jim Joyce, and the count is 1-1. The Rays were 23-17 against the East. Yeah, pretty close. But 8-17 against the West.
Terrible. That's what's been killing them.
That's up 2-1. And so if you get right down to it, I mean, we talk about the need for more innings out of starters, better starting pitching. The defense hasn't been quite as good. The offense hasn't been quite as consistent as it was a year ago. But it's the play against the West that has made the difference, as Carl Crawford takes care of Bautista's fly ball. 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the second, no score.
Still scoreless, bottom of the second here at Tropicana Field. Whit Watson back with you on Fox Sports Florida. If you watched our post-game coverage last night, we speculated on the causes for the delay in the media being allowed in the locker room, maybe a roster move. Well, indeed, that's what happened. Reed Brignac has been recalled from Durham. Jeff Bennett optioned to Durham. Brignac, the infielder, adding a little bit of balance to the roster, infielders to pitchers. He hit .271 in 21 games here this season. Now, as of 5 o'clock, he was not yet at the ballpark, and in fact, Joe Madden didn't know where he was, but happy to say there he is. He made it just in time, in uniform, and ready for the game.
All right, thank you. Ben Zobrist will lead off the bottom of the second inning. And the pitch is down and in, a ball and no strike. Just a little misunderstanding last night in regard to access to Joe Madden and the clubhouse at large.
They were trying to figure out a couple of things. They obviously were dealing with the Jeff Bennett situation, and they wanted to make sure Pat Burrell was okay.
And Zobrist sends this one high back into center field, but Wells will have plenty of room and makes the catch. That's the first out.
Excuse me, Dwayne. With Brignac here, Joe said he wasn't necessarily looking for off days for Zobrist and Bartlett right now because of the off day going into this series and coming out of this series, but he feels like Brignac can be a guy that can maybe pinch run, maybe be an extra guy on the bench where you can use the other pieces to your team a lot better than he could when he only had 3 guys on the bench.
Yeah, and you know, really the extra guy in the bullpen had a lot to do with, frankly, playing the Angels. And when they play the Yankees, there may also be a need for an extra guy down there because of the matchup with all of the switch hitters that those two teams have. It really requires, or recommends at least, that you have as deep a bullpen as you can possibly come up with. Pitch is down to Carlos Pena, especially when the Rays have not been getting consistently the innings out of their starters that they would like to get.
It's such a matchup bullpen. Not many guys go more than an inning down there. So you do have a lot of guys that are being used. Joe has used more relievers, not innings, but just calling on the bullpen more than anybody else in the league.
Pena bounces one foul. He's again hitting against the shift with Hill not only in short right field, but pulling him toward the line over there. You see that shift in play now.
Yeah, that's as dramatic a shift as we see. I mean, Hill is very close to the line.
High popper down the right side, foul. And that ball will not be caught. Bautista came sliding back of the bullpen mound, and Hill was tracking it, but he started to go up the mound, and suddenly Bautista came sliding in, stage left.
Hill must have a fear of heights, because once he started getting up on that mound, he kind of lost track of what was happening. That was kind of strange looking there. Like Hill said, all right, I've gotten... Watch this. I mean, Aaron Hill's tracking the ball for a while, tracking the ball. He's like, where is it? Oh, now I'm on the mound, and Bautista had the yellow shot. Those catwalks sometimes work in your benefit.
So Carlos Pena still up there to continue the at bat, 1 and 2. No score, bottom of the second. Brian Talbot doing the pitching for Toronto. And Carlos is out on strikes. That'll be out number 2, the first strikeout for Talbot. If you happen to be traveling and can't watch the Rays, you can catch them on your computer with MLB.TV. That great baseball experience features 100 out-of-market games per week live right on your computer, and catch the games you missed on demand. For details, visit RaysBaseball.com, where baseball is always on. Here's Willie Ibar. Takes a pitch down. Willie hitting a few points under right-handed what he does left-handed, but he's shown pretty good pop from the right side against lefties. Ground ball, third base. Encarnacion makes the play in routine fashion. 1, 2, 3 go the Rays. We head to the third. No score.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Tampa Bay Rays and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Scott Kazmir made just 13 pitches in the second. Ready to start the third, facing the Toronto catcher Raul Chavez. And the first pitch is a strike. Chavez hitting .281. Veteran catcher. He's been with a number of clubs. He's done a nice job with the Blue Jays. Pitch is low. 1-1. It's good to see Linda Jones here. She is the wife of the late Barry Jones, up with the Manatee Chamber of Commerce Foundation presentation. The Rays have a partnership with the Manatee School Board, and they were here in pregame ceremonies. Of course, very active in the Manatee area and represented the Rays there. And I can't think of Barry without thinking of his quote, "The community doesn't need a baseball team, but a baseball team needs a community." And boy, he's right about that. And he's missed in his efforts for the Rays. 1-2. Chavez is out on strikes. A foul tip strikeout. That's the first out here in the third inning.
Like the game plan early from Jim Hickey and Deanna Navarro, where they got ahead of the count. Navarro shifted a little bit towards the outside part of the plate, but for the most part, Navarro has just been bisecting home plate, and it's something that I think with Kazmir is good early on, because then if he's a little wide of that target, he can still hit the corners. It's not as much fun for the catcher. Catchers love to move around there and get on the corners, but I think it's a good idea with Kaz.
Scudero, and the pitch to him is a strike. I think you're right, because Kazmir has never been a command pitcher. Even when he threw 95, 96, 97 and had that big slider, which we haven't seen a lot of that recently out of him. But he wasn't a command pitcher then. He was really a stuff guy with that dramatic slider. And that's part of the transition he's gone through. And we've seen him. We saw him early when he struggled to pitch at 92. He might get to 92 or 93. But since he's come off the disabled list and when he's been good, we've seen him pitch at 92 and get there relatively effortless, which is a good thing.
And the hitters will tell you about your velocity. Vernon Wells goes down. Chavez goes down on fastballs. Kazmir hasn't had a big strikeout game so far this year. 7's his high, but he's already off to a pretty good start with 3 in this one.
Down to third. That ball comes up on Longoria, bounding into foul territory, and he'll retrieve it as Scudero stops at first base. Difficult play for Longoria down there at third base, and that's going to be a base hit for Scudero.
Evan tried to go with the glove turned in. He could have backhanded that, but that's a tough play either way. It's right off the right instep of his foot. It's just a bullet short hopping up. Evan feels like he should make every play, but that was a difficult one.
Yeah, and in his heart and mind, he thinks he should have made that play. That's a tough play. Aaron Hill takes a pitch outside, 1-0. So Scudero's on base for the second straight time. On with 1 out here in the third. Fastball, and the count is 1-1. Kazmir threw Hill a changeup in the first inning. In fact, went to 1-1, tried to throw him a change and missed, and then came back with it and got him on a fly ball to left. One and two.
He may have gotten away with one too, because he left that second changeup up a little bit, but it was good enough that Hill just got it off the end of his bat, and he wasn't quite squared up because that was a high change.
Yeah, you're right, and you could see Hill waiting for that, trying to wait as long as he could. but that's what a changeup's supposed to do.
See if he goes back to the changeup here ahead of the count.
And there's a high fly ball back into left. Crawford's going to go to the wall, and this one is gone. He did. He came back with a changeup, and this time Hill hit it out. A 1-2 pitch. It's Hill's 28th home run, and Toronto takes a 2-0 lead.
Guy's not happy with this pitch. Let's see the location of this 1-2 pitch. Yeah, it's up. He got away with a changeup to Hill his first time up when he got him just a little in front, but this time Hill made the necessary adjustment. A couple of changeups up to Aaron Hill. One he got away with, that one he didn't.
It's 80 runs batted in for Hill. Adam Lynn. There's a strike. Fastball, that had a little something extra on it.
Kaz is still real upset right now. I'm not sure. He's obviously upset with the location, but I'm not sure if he's upset with the fact that he threw a change up there in the first place.
Upstairs, a fastball.
When you're ahead of the count, you know you're going to go to that changeup. And that's a situation where you know you got away with one the first time against that same hitter. You got to make sure that's below the knees or at the knees. And that one was right up thigh high.
Swing and a miss. He comes back and gets Lynn. 2 outs in the inning. That'll be the 4th strikeout of the night, posted by Kazmir. Thanks to Heineken Light, you can have a chance to cheer where they can hear you. Upgrade your Rays baseball experience by winning premium seats right next to the action. For more info and to enter, visit the Heineken display at a participating retailer. First pitch, and Millar lets the fly ball short right. Zobrist out there in shallow right field makes the catch. 2 runs on the home run by Hill. Bottom of the 3rd, coming 2-0 Toronto.
Watson back with you on Fox Sports Florida, and tomorrow over on Sun Sports we'll teach you how to fill one of these out, how to keep score. We're going to do this throughout the entire broadcast, starting with our pregame coverage at 1 o'clock, the ins and outs of keeping score at a Major League Baseball game at any level. It's going to be very informative, a lot of props involved, a lot of special graphics. Check us out tomorrow starting at 1 on Sun Sports. Back upstairs to Dwayne.
All right, here's Gabe Kapler leading off for the Rays in the bottom of the 3rd. They're down 2-0. Facing the left-hander Brian Talent. 1-0 the count. Well, the Rays have had some success against Talent, and right now they're trailing here in the third by a couple runs. It's 1-1.
This is nothing compared to last time they faced us.
Yep.
They were down 8-0 last time. Ended up winning.
Talent gave up 5 runs in 6 innings, and that time before that, when he started against the Rays, he gave up 8 runs in 3 innings.
The Jays really have 6 starters, and Talent gets the start tonight with Brett Cecil nursing a bit of a sore knee. But at some point, probably in September, the Jays say with their young pitchers, they're probably going to go to a 6-man rotation. Here you see the numbers in the game. He was up 8-0 and 9-1. The Rays started that incredible comeback, eventually winning 10-9 in 12 innings.
One-two again. Ground ball headed to short. Scudero makes the throw, and it's in time to get Kapler. Scudero stayed back on that ball a little bit, but had time just to get Kapler. 1 out. Deanna Navarro about to step in.
It'll be interesting to see, though, how Cito Gaston handles that. He may let Halladay go as close to his turn as possible. I can't imagine with a horse like that, you only let him go once a week, especially if he's got a shot at the Cy Young.
Well, he has certainly, at this point in his career and with what he's accomplished, earned to take his regular turn. And Navarro looks at a strike. The Otter's been up around 290 from the right side of the plate, hitting 219 overall. And a line drive base hit. That's going to give him 6 of 12 against Talent for his career. And he is the first base runner for the Rays.
Navarro loves hitting against this lefty. He started out 0 for 4 in his career. Now, as Dwayne mentioned, 6 for 12, so 6 for his last 8. Navarro says he barely works on his right-handed swing. It's just his natural swing that when he's in the cage, he's always tinkering and working with that lefty swing, but that righty swing has been so good for him.
Now it'll be B.J. Upton. Upton shows bunt, snap throw to first, and Navarro managed to get that left foot on the very back side of the bag because the throw was going to be there in time.
I like the stare down afterwards too. Navarro's like, hey, this is a fellow catcher. He's supposed to make me look bad. He gets good secondary leads, and he almost got caught there. But pretty good throw by Chavez, almost got him.
That's a strike. BJ had a couple of hits last night. He had the infield hit in the third, and then had a base hit in the 8th inning following the Greg Zahn home run, and was caught stealing for the first out of the inning. Two balls and a strike. And you know, in that situation, we talked about it at the time. The Rays lost a couple of base runners trying to steal Crawford in the first and Upton in the 8th, and in the 8th you're really trying to protect your outs. But against Halladay, you had your 2 top base stealers really, and you sometimes have to manufacture your own scoring opportunities, and that's what was behind all of that. You can argue in the 8th inning is
right.
How cautious you should be.
Joe kind of liked the Crawford go at 3-0. He feels like a lot of pitchers there are a little slower to the plate. Catcher can even get back on his heels. He didn't mind that one. Wasn't sure about the decision in the 8th inning, though. He might have thought about your B.J. Upton down 3, making sure you get that bag if you go.
That's a strike. So the count is 2-2.
And you're never guaranteed anything when you try and steal, but if you're seeing the pitcher well and feel like you can get a good jump on him, that's a situation where you have to be pretty certain you're going to get a stolen base down 3 with 6 outs to play.
2-2. And we go full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Toronto scored 2 on the Hill home run in the top half of the inning. 3-2 to BJ. And he breaks his bat and fouls it. So we'll see another 3-2 pitch as part of the barrel end of that bat splinters off.
Yeah, just a small piece towards the end of the bat, just about a quarter of the bat towards the top end, splintered.
You know, I just don't ever remember seeing bats break like that.
Ever.
The barrel end especially.
Look at that. You never see that. That's the maple bats, they splinter differently, and this one, just a small piece of the end of the bat comes off, and there you see the end of the bat where it left. Now he's got the same bat. The maple bats, a lot of guys love them, but they break way differently than bats in the past.
(3-2) about to be made once again. And BJ walks. The pitch is low. So a couple of men on base here.
Well, it was a tough road trip for BJ Upton, 1 for 19, moving down in the lineup, and he's come home first couple of games, 2 for 3 last night. That was a good plate appearance there. He had a couple pitches with 2 strikes that were close, but he didn't expand the zone. So some good signs early in this homestand. Hopefully that boss man's turning it around.
Well, they really need him. He could be such an impact, regardless of where he's hitting in the lineup. He could be a big impact in the lineup. They're going to need that the next 7 weeks. Here's Jason Bartlett. And the first pitch drops in there with a little break on it. 1 strike. Down and in. Takes it to 1-1.
I know some people around the Tampa Bay area reacted negatively to the comments BJ Upton made, and I think, just to set the record straight, Upton immediately reached out to Joe Madden and felt like what he said was a mistake, and he didn't mean the exact words, which were, he felt like it was a slap in the face to get moved down to the 9 spot.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
No, he was quoted as saying that. He regretted saying it, and he made sure he let Joe know right away. He understands he's not hitting, and he wasn't hitting at the top of the lineup. Joe felt like 7 was okay, but he really likes BJ more in the number 9 spot where he can be a second leadoff hitter. Wow, he's getting an enormous lead at first base.
Yeah, he's just making sure that Millar stays where he is. Navarro's on his way to the plate. Upton will go to third. The Rays are on the board as Bartlett comes through, driving in the run. It's 2-1 now. That's his 56th run batted in.
Well, this is the part of the lineup that used to be Bartlett 9, Upton 1, but it's got the same effect when you flip them. If you can get these 2 guys going together, the lineup turns over nicely. So Deanna Navarro with a single to start things, then B.J. Upton with a walk, and Jason Bartlett continues to roll on in that leadoff spot.
And with men in scoring position, he came in the best with men in scoring position at .429, and just comes through here in the third with men at first and second. I mean, he's stronger and he's more disciplined. He lets the ball come to him more.
Fun to watch.
He is. What a great season he's had.
He was already the team MVP last year, and he's having a much better year this year.
Well, there's Carl Crawford. First and third. Carl bounces it foul. Strike one.
Blue Jays look like they're going to play the middle of the infield at double play depth and the corners in. Now, even though Crawford's got great speed, he will occasionally hit into a double play. But if he hits a ground ball one of the corners, they're going to try and make a play at Upton at home.
And a liner into right center field. Here comes Upton in to score. Bartlett goes to third. Foley's going to wave him around. The throw to the plate is up the line. It's a double for Crawford, and the Rays take the lead. It's a 3-2 ball game as Carl Crawford comes through again. Bartlett scored all the way for first, following Upton home. Crawford's 22nd double. He has 57 runs batted in.
5 base hits already in 2 games against Toronto. He's a career .376 hitter against the Blue Jays as he continues to get the job done against Toronto. It's always fun to watch Tom Foley on these balls into the gap because in the back of his mind he's thinking Crawford's going to go to third anyhow. I got to wave this guy home if he's got a chance. And Bartlett did a great job getting home from first base on a ball that was cut off nicely by Jose Bautista.
Now it's Evan Longoria. So the Rays have bounced back with 3 so far here in the third. No reason to stop now. Evan line to third his first time. Crawford taking his lead. The pitch is away. 1 ball, no strikes.
Crawford a lot of times will run so hard and then at the last second realize the runner's being held. That time when he saw Bautista cut the ball off, I think he may have assumed that Bartlett was going to be held because then he slowed up a little bit going to second. A lot of times he could have gotten to third on that play.
And a shot back into deep left center field. That's well hit and is off the wall, bounding back into the field of play. Crawford scores and Longoria's in at second. And boy, that hit in that little corner where the wall comes down a little bit, and that may have been a home run.
Not quite. It hit the top of the pad. It was very close, Dwayne. You're right, because it drops about 1.5 feet right there where you see it. But this hits the top of the pad just to the left where the wall is a little bit higher, and it cost Evan Longoria his 25th home run of the year. This is a bullet. And you'll see right here where it hits right there at the top of the pad, right there at the top of the pad. We'll get another closer look here, and you can see it's below the yellow line, it's below the screen, it's right off the green pad. If it was another 5 feet to the right, gets out of the ballpark where that fence goes down. But it was played well by the Blue Jays. Vernon Wells out there as it popped right back to him, and Evan had to hustle to get into second base.
So it's a double for Longoria. The Rays have a 4-2 lead. 87 runs batted in for Evan. The Rays have put 5 consecutive hitters on, 4 hits and a walk in that mix. And here's Ben Zobrist now with Longoria in scoring position.
Talent was on a little bit of a shorter leash tonight anyhow because he hasn't been a starter for the last 3 weeks. So he wasn't going to go deep into this game, you wouldn't think. But especially getting hit around here, they're going to get bullpen action up already.
Pitch is down. 1-0. That's Sean Camp, the former Ray, throwing in the bullpen down the left field line. Zobrist takes a strike. So the 1-out single by Navarro starts it. Upton walk. Bartlett's base hit got a run home. Crawford's double played at 2, and a double for Longoria drove in the other one. Now Zobrist tries to get into the act. And a bouncer to the right side. This is going to be a race to the bag, and Zobrist is safe over there. Longoria goes to third. That's a base hit. for Zobrist. When Millar and Hill converged, Khaled had to try to cover, and Zobrist beat him in.
Oh, it's going to be a little more difficult for lefties to cover first. You see how Talent falls off to the third base side, so already he's behind, and Zobrist, with his speed, had a little bit of a half-step lead, then got out of the box in a hurry. Watch this. As soon as he chops it, he's off and moving. And he realizes here he can beat the pitcher and goes.
So it's first and third. Zobrist picking up the base hit. He continues to hustle on every play. And now it's Carlos Pena. It's a 4-run inning for the Rays with a chance for more. Ground ball low to second. Out of the ship. That's a double play. Hill, Scutaro to Millar. And the Rays settled for 4 at the end of 3. 4-2 Tampa Bay. Four-2 Rays lead as we move on to the 4th inning. Vernon Wells leads off, and the Blue Jays center fielder takes a strike. Scott Kazmir on the hill for the Rays tonight. And a fly ball, not too deep to center. B.J. Upton is there and makes the grab. That'll be the first out. Time for our Aflac trivia question. Aflac, we've got you under our wing. Well, last night, Carl Crawford went 4 for 4 against Roy Halladay. Before last night, who was the last player to go 4 for 4 against Roy Halladay? So there was someone else to do that.
It's not easy.
Randy Ruiz played on a fastball, strike one.
You know, Kazmir was frustrated after last inning with that changeup allowing the home run, but he's been pretty solid so far through 3+.
And the base hit the other way. That comes on a fastball. So Ruiz is aboard. Third hit given up by Kaz. The hitter is going to be the third baseman, Edwin Encarnacion. One ball, no strikes. Encarnacion likes to swing the bat. He'll be aggressive up there. He takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Casper got him to chase a pitch out of the strike zone. 3-2 in the second inning, and he struck him out. Right back. 1-2. Casper, since giving up that home run, has thrown mostly fastballs.
How many sliders at all tonight?
And a pop-up. Bartlett is there. That might have been a slider that got in on him.
That was a good one. Now, Kaz has been mostly fastball changeup tonight, and that time he did. Let's take a look at that, because Encarnacion's down on the count. He's got to protect the plate. This pitch starts on the middle, and then you can see it's diving down. Navarro was ready to catch it just on top of the dirt. So good little biting action there on that slider.
Bautista. Ground ball. Third base side. Longoria with the flip down to Zobrist for the force. They get a hit and leave a man. We go to the home half of the fourth. 4-2 Tampa Bay. To our Aflac trivia question. Aflac, we've got you under our wing. Carl Crawford's 4 for 4 in the game last night. Prior to that, who was the last player to go 4 for 4 against Roy Halladay? Interleague play of 06 in June. How about that against the Mets, Jose Reyes?
Pretty good. I was thinking it had to be someone pretty fast. Halladay gets so many ground balls. Occasionally you have to beat out an infield hit to get 4 hits against Doc.
Willie Ibar taking the first pitch too low from Brad Talent. Ibar, Kapler, and Navarro due up. Hits it hard, but foul down the left side, out of play. 1-1. Ibar in there as the DH tonight. Two and one.
It's a frustrating year for Pat Burrell, just when things were starting to go his way, swinging with some authority, and that neck problem pops up again.
There he is. They don't think it's serious. Ibar, that's a strike, and the count goes to 2-2. You know, the first time when he went on the disabled list before that, you could start to see some offense coming then too. And then he had the neck flare up, wound up on the sideline. Ibar reaches out and drops this one into center field for a base hit. An off-speed pitch, that changeup, and he drops it into center field to start the bottom of the fourth. It's time for What Do You Know? Brought to you by Radio Shack. Did you know that Gabe Kapler briefly retired in 07 and became the manager of Class A Greenville of the Red Sox organization? He led them to a 58-81 record, and I'll tell you, if you were watching the pregame and Whit Watson, you knew that.
Absolutely. Love that quote from Kapler, too. Sometimes you can make plans and the universe laughs.
Kaplerian, I think. Pitch is high to Gabe.
Gabe looks at things a little differently than not only most players, but most people in general. It's always a little bit deeper thought process with Gabe. And I like that. You know, each guy's got their own personality. Gabe thinks differently.
Yeah, there are 25 personalities in a 25-man locker room in the clubhouse, and that's great.
You don't see anybody work harder in terms of physical preparation than this guy, Gabe Kapler. He is always doing something to get his body ready for the game. Working out hard, always.
Fouled, and the count is 1-1. I'll say this, you know, he really struggled at the beginning of the year, and he continued to work hard and follow through with his routine, and it's really paid off for him.
Yeah, that's a very difficult thing to do, and it takes a veteran to be able to keep staying with it when you're struggling like that. A lot of guys get down on themselves, but he is a streaky hitter. We saw that streakiness a little bit earlier this summer when he went on a tear.
That's a strike, which started wide and then broke over and caught the plate. So it's 1-2. The slider gives Talent the advantage in the count at the moment. Ground ball third. Encarnacion to Hill, and the throw to first out there, so they get the double play. Not the smoothest of double plays, but they got the job done.
That was a tough turn and a nice turn by Hill because the throw was a little bit low. Good job by Encarnacion to cut this ball off in the hole. Then his sidearm throw is a little low, so Hill has to go down and get it, and still gets enough on the throw. Let's see how close this is. Kapler. Ooh.
Well, that is very close.
Either way, that could have gone.
And that low feed from Encarnacion really upset the timing on that double play. And they were fortunate to get the out at first. Pitch outside to Deanna Navarro. 1-0.
They don't give you a lot of extra outs, this Toronto team. They have been the best defensive team in terms of fielding percentage in the American League and the majors.
Bobby looks at strike one. Now, they made only 47 errors all year, and the Rays have now been charged with 76.
Makes a huge difference for your pitching staff too.
Outside, 2-1, and the Rays still contend, and I believe it, they are a very good defensive team. But as Joe Madden discussed on the pregame today, it's been a difficult year defensively for this team. The little looper, Hill out from second base, handles that to retire the side. No runs, a hit, and nobody left. We're at the end of 4. It's 4-2 Tampa Bay.
It's a 4-2 lead for the Rays over Toronto, top of the fifth. Part of the summer concert series tonight. After the game, ticket holders get a chance to see the B-52s. Fred Schneider joining us on Fox Sports Florida. Great to have you here in Tampa, St. Pete. And the amazing thing about these concerts is how quickly they get set up as soon as the game ends. And you guys got to start working pretty soon, I understand. You got to get downstairs pretty quickly.
Yeah, I got to get ready. Had a good time announcing the players coming on the field and stuff. It was an interesting experience.
We were talking a second ago that you work year-round. The tour never stops. Tell me about where you're going next.
Well, this year we have more all over the U.S., and then in November we go down to New Zealand and Australia. And then after that, more.
Now, you're originally from New Jersey, correct? So now it's okay to say so. Would that make you a Yankee fan growing up or a Mets fan?
Growing up, yeah, Yankees fan. When I'm down south, I like the Rays. When I'm up north, I like the Yankees.
Well, you did a great job announcing the players in the first inning. Have a great show, break a leg, and have fun here.
Thank you.
Should be a great show, part of the summer concert series here at the Trop, Dwayne.
All right, thank you. We're looking forward to it. Chavez goes out to B.J. Upton here, one away in the fifth inning. Here's Todd Callis.
Dwayne, thank you very much. One out here in the fifth for Scott Kazmir and the Rays, leading 4-2. I didn't know you could be a Yankees fan and a Rays fan. That's tough to do.
Yeah, that's sort of like being a Cubs fan and a White Sox fan.
You share a disdain of the Red Sox, but other than that, there's not a lot in common. One out, nobody on. Marco Scutaro has been on a couple of times against Scott Kazmir. He has walked and reached on an infield single. Only 3 hits allowed by Kazmir. One of them was a 2-run home run by Aaron Hill. The only 2 runs he's allowed, working with a 4-2 lead here in the fifth inning. Fly ball center field. B.J. Upton drifts to his left. And there's 2 away. For all the latest updates on the Tampa Bay Rays, log on to TampaBay.com. From the diamond to the clubhouse and everywhere in between, you'll get in-depth news, stories, and scores 24 hours a day only at TampaBay.com.
Yeah, their sports section is great. It's a great sports section.
Yes, it is.
It's hard to find one better.
They do a good job.
They do.
All the boys getting ready for their Sunday edition. That's always a little more extensive reading on the final day of the week. Here's Aaron Hill.
Yeah, they're working hard right now.
Mark Topkin.
Mark. I mean, he works 24 hours a day.
It's amazing. He was on the West Coast with us. Right back at it this weekend. Popped up right side. Carlos Pena should have an easy play, and Scott Kazmir has an easy fifth. 1, 2, 3, clock go the Blue Jays. We head to the bottom of the fifth. The score: Tampa Bay 4, Toronto 2. Run shot for Hill, his 28th of the year. And then the Braves came right back in the bottom half of the inning. Jason Bartlett knocking in a run. Carl Crawford driving in 2. And then Evan Longoria would bring in Carl Crawford as the Rays would score 4 runs in the bottom half of the inning as 6 consecutive players in the lineup reached base. Part of that process was B.J. Upton, who walked and scored. He leads off here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. And he fouls one just to our right. 0-1. Upton's been on base 3 of the 4 times in this homestand. A couple of hits last night, no walk. His first time up.
You know, we saw Fred Snyder talking with Witt there in the last inning, and he referenced that he did some public address announcing here with the lineups and so forth. And I just wondered, does that mean that David Pigman's going to join the B-52s?
It could be.
In a post-game concert? One would hope so.
Another Hess Express Summer Concert Series night where the Rays are undefeated in 2 years on concert nights. The one time the Rays lost, they wore the Devil Rays jerseys. So
there you go.
As Rays,
I like that.
They are 13-0 with post-game concerts. He was very amusing doing the public address announcing. He was very low-key and almost half asleep for the Blue Jays lineup.
Yes.
And the Rays was just way over the top.
Well, as he said, when he's down south, he's a Rays fan.
I guess North Carolina and above, he's a Yankees fan. South of the border, he's a Rays fan. South of the South Carolina, North Carolina border. 2-2 to B.J. Upton. Away, and another full count. Upton showing some pretty good discipline tonight at the plate.
It would really be great for the Rays. What a shot in the arm it would be to get B.J. going here in the closing weeks of this season. Because we saw in the postseason, you know, the first couple rounds of the postseason, what a dramatic impact he can have.
Fouled away. This is going to reach the crowd. And on a dime, too, it turned. You remember that first series against the White Sox. He was getting booed here at Tropicana Field.
Absolutely.
And next thing you know, he's setting records along with Evan Longoria against the Boston Red Sox. He's a special talent, working with a little bit of a slump right now, but showing signs at least in this homestand so far. Swinging and miss, strikeout for Talent. For Talent, that is his first strikeout of the evening, out number 1 here in the 5th. Hey, the Rays Summer Concert Series continues a week from tonight, August 22nd, when the Rays host the Texas Rangers. It is Country Night. She's 1 week early. Big and Rich will be performing a free post-game concert. Visit RaysBaseball.com to get your tickets today. I know you're looking forward to that one.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
That's right.
Big and Rich.
And you know, if you're wearing a cowboy or a cowgirl hat, you're never early.
There you go. Anytime, right?
It's good anytime.
There you go. Sci-fi night tonight. Country night a week from tonight. All part of this Hess Express Summer Concert Series. Tough to dress up as sci-fi character, though, as we've seen during our telecast. 0-1 pitch to Jason Bartlett is away, 1-1. Bartlett with the single to score the first run of the night for the Rays. He eventually came around to score on Carl Crawford's double. Part of that 4-run third, the Rays on top 4-2. Away, it's 2-1. Bartlett, since becoming a leadoff hitter a little more than 2 weeks ago, hitting .370 during that time. Really doing a good job working deep counts as well. High and away, 3-1 to Bartlett. Ryan Talent making his first start in 3 weeks. Last started against these Rays. His last 2 starts have come against Tampa Bay. And lately he's been working out of the bullpen for Toronto. Ground ball in the 3-1 pitch. A couple of hops to Encarnacion, who makes the play across. And there's 2 away.
Well, he's on the verge of giving Cito Gaston 5 innings, and I would say anything beyond that, they would consider more than what they anticipated.
He had a good couple of first innings with his pitch count, kept it pretty low, and right now he's still at 66, so thought if they could get 5 out of him, you're right, that would be a nice night. Carl Crawford in the left field, base hit, thinking about 2. He's heading to second. Crawford is safe with yet another double. Crawford's 4th double of this series.
Well, this will be our checkers double of the game. That pitch moving away from him, sliding across the plate, and Carl just goes with it toward the left field line. He swung the bat so well against the Blue Jays, and he's continued that in this series. He's now 6 out of 7 in the series.
And you think about his hits, too. He's using the entire field. He chopped one towards shortstop for his first hit, then hit a double into the left center field gap in his second hit last night, then pulled a double over Inglet's head on a line drive for his third hit, and hit a bullet past Aaron Hill for his 4th hit. Tonight, a shot to right center, now one down the left field line. So Crawford using the entire field for his 6 hits in this series. He loves hitting against this Toronto team. Here's Evan Longoria. He hit a double his last time up to score Crawford. And he rips one into left center field. He'll score Crawford again. Carl Crawford crosses the plate. It's now 5-2. CC with 76 runs. That's a team best. And Evan Longoria now with 88 RBIs. That is also a team best.
Longoria with that same stroke on a breaking ball into left center field to drive in the run. Evan continues his hot hitting as of late. He's been so good, particularly the last week. Picks up his 2nd run batted into the night.
Longoria only trails Justin Morneau, coming in with 93 RBIs in the American League. He was tied with Teixeira before tonight. Longo with 2 more RBIs tonight. Here's Ben Zobrist. Rays leading 5-2. Zobrist reached on it, an infield hit his last time up. He's 1 for 2.
Talent started him with a changeup and had him out in front, and then missed with a slider.
There was action earlier with Talent in the 3rd inning. Sean Camp was up, but as he is now at the 70 pitch plateau in the 5th inning, no action for Toronto. Longoria on first with 2 outs. A little bit low, 2-1. So Evans hit the ball hard 3 times tonight. Carl Crawford continues to hit the ball hard against these Blue Jays. The Rays now with 8 hits as they play here in the 5th, leading 5-2.
Came back with a changeup and had been out in front. So both strikes have come on that pitch. Same result.
Carl Crawford 6 for 7 in this series, moving up that top 10 list in the batting average department. He and Derek Jeter and Robinson Cano were all at 318 before tonight. Jeter by percentage points was ahead, 6th best batting average in the league. 2-2 to Zobrist, away 3-2. And all those guys will eventually pass Scott Rowland, who will not have enough at bats to stay in there the rest of the way as he was traded to the National League. Longoria will get a head start off of first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Rays leading Toronto 5-2 after the Jays took an early 2-0 lead. Zobrist chops it foul. Longoria will head back to first.
When Talent pitched against the Rays back in early July, on the 8th of July, It was against Kazmir, and it was Zobrist who had a home run in the 4th inning that knocked him out of that game. So Ben does have a home run off this guy.
Thinking Gaston, Cito Gaston just wants him to get through this inning. 3-2 pitch again. Again, chop foul. Rather than use a guy out of the bullpen to get one more out in this inning, he's not even showing any bullpen action here. Just hoping Tala can work his way through the 5th and get somebody ready for the 6th.
I'm going to say that home run that Zobrist hit off him came off a fastball, and so that's why we've seen just a variety of breaking pitches and changeups here for Talent against Zobrist.
Rays have hit Talent hard in his previous 2 starts, getting him for another 5 spot tonight. Here's a pitch ripped into left field. That's another hit. Longoria on the move is going to go first to third on the single. Zobrist thought about going to second, and now he's going to scramble back to first. He almost took advantage of the Blue Jays defensively. 9th hit of the night for the Rays. 2nd for Ben Zobrist, and here's Whit Watson on more with Ben.
Yeah, Todd, it's good to see Zobrist getting that good solid swing, because one of the things that Joe Madden talked about during his pregame conversation with the media, he was a little concerned that Zobrist had been chasing pitches and expanding his strike zone. And at least during that at-bat, when he found the right pitch to hit, he took advantage of it and moved the runner from first to third. So that kind of fits in with what Madden had been looking at as far as Zobrist is concerned.
Thanks, Whit. That's one thing Joe always looks for with a player in terms of a sign of fatigue, is whether he's expanding that zone a little bit. And he felt like Ben had done that a little bit in Anaheim and maybe in last night's game as well. Here's Carlos Pena. Inside for a ball, 1-0.
Well, all this activity for the Rays will spur some activity in the bullpen now for the Blue Jays. Talent not quite to 80 pitches.
Josh Renicky warming up. He was also just acquired in that same trade with Cincinnati that brought over Edwin Encarnacion. 1-0 pitch to Pena. Ground ball right side, right to the shift, and Aaron Hill. He'll make the play to first, and that'll do it for the Rays. But Tampa Bay tacks on another run on 3 hits. They head to inning 6 with a 5-2 lead. Welcome back to the Coors Light 6th inning. Now time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Carl Crawford with 6 base hits in this series. Taking an outside pitch there the other way for hit number 6, his 2nd of the night, after going 4 for 4 last night against Roy Halladay. That was our Frost Brewed Coors Light Freeze Cam. Carl Crawford versus Toronto. Throughout his career, he has always hit the Blue Jays. 1-0 the count to Adam Lind as he takes one up the right field line, just foul, and it's 1-1. Crawford this series with those 4 hits against Halliday. 4 doubles already. And we're only a game and a half through this weekend series. Halfway through the series, 6 hits, 4 doubles, a couple of RBIs, 3 runs scored. Moving up the charts again in the top 10 in batting average for Carl Crawford. 1-1 pitch to Lind is inside, 2-1. Fun to watch Crawford. Really, as tough as it was last year when he was injured, it may have helped his approach to hitting this year. There is a good pitch from Kazmir, 2-2. Crawford had to learn how to be more selective at the plate, make some adjustments last year when he was hurt. And this year with his healthy legs, a little better idea of the strike zone. He has been as good as we've seen.
Yeah, that's a big part of his improvement this year. He just realized that he was chasing a lot of bad pitches. And a self-realization that he's going to have to be a little more disciplined. And the other thing he's done is defeat a lot of pitchers' pitches. He's kept bats alive, and the longer he's up there, particularly if he makes contact with his speed, conversely, that's something that could also be a good message for B.J. Upton.
Called third strike. Kazmir gets Lind looking. Strikeout number 5 for the Rays left-hander.
On that outside corner, second time he's gotten Lind. This time looking. First time he got him swinging and missing a little slider.
Real good pitch there from Kazmir. So far, Scott's allowed just 3 hits. He walked 2 in the first inning, but he's not walked a batter since as he misses 1-0 to Kevin Millar. Rays lead at 5-2, a 4-run third, and they added another in the bottom of the 5th. There's a called strike. Kazmir coming off back-to-back strong starts at home. Struggled in his last outing in Seattle, allowing 7 runs in 4 1/3 innings, but his previous 2 starts here at Tropicana Field, 7 innings of 1-run baseball against the Yankees and 6 innings of 3-run baseball against the Royals. But that could have been much better. Had a little tough luck in that game. 1-2 pitch, fouled away. Millar getting the start tonight at first base for the Blue Jays. Basilio Gaston has already told the veteran Millar that at some point in September he's probably going to try and get some at-bats for the young guys. Travis Snyder be called up from AAA Las Vegas. That pitch is in the dirt, 2-2. It's a Blue Jays team that has some pieces they want to build around. Gaston said he'll definitely be here through the contract next year, but after that he'll kind of wait and see where this team is. He doesn't want to manage, he said, into his 70s. Swing and a miss and a changeup. Kazmir now has a half-dozen strikeouts.
Let's take a look at this pitch. I mean, you couldn't throw a better changeup to a right-handed hitter than that. Millar didn't have a chance. That is a textbook changeup from Scott Kazmir.
We are seeing signs since the All-Star break. Maybe not, it's never going to be quite like the old Kazmir who had that mid-90s fastball and that devastating slider, but we're seeing signs of the confidence of the old Scott Kazmir. And that's great to see as he's ahead 0-1 on Vernon Wells.
Now here's something. Here's a guy right now with an earned run average of 631. I'm going to tell you, he could be an even better pitcher, and it's all going to come down to command of those pitches, because he will pitch. If he's going to be successful, he has to pitch and he has to have command. And if he can do that and throw the kinds of pitches, there's another good changeup, a little up but away and good. He's got a chance to be a better pitcher than he was before all of the problems he's had.
Absolutely. 1-2. He's ahead of Wells. Backs him off. It's 2-2. Part of the maturation of any pitcher. And Kazmir had such a live arm and still does have a very good arm. but he's learning the craft as he goes along a little better. The 2-2 pitch down low. Maybe trying to speed things up a little bit here as he had 2 outs and 2 strikes to Wells, and now the count's full.
This looked like a pretty good pitch, didn't it?
That's close.
Wow.
Swing and a miss. Kazmir strikes out the side. That's now a season-high 7 on the night. Scott Kazmir has it going on as he gets Adam Lynn looking, Kevin Millar swinging, and he finishes it off by getting his old nemesis Vernon Wells swinging. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Rays leading 5-2. Black, we've got you under our wing. And by Amscott, you're okay with us. Fans enjoying a little sci-fi night here at Tropicana Field. Didn't know how that one fan was viewing the game very well. Didn't look like he had a... Hey, Yoda's in the house. And Dustin Johnson together. They are not one and the same.
Oh, I thought we were seeing double from him.
One pitch is inside the Ivar. 1-1. We've got ourselves a 5-2 Rays lead in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Scott Kazmir striking out this side in the top half on the heels of a 7-pitch 5th inning. Maybe 2 of the better back-to-back innings we've seen from Kaz in a while.
Oh, I'll tell you, and striking out the side of the 6th. We saw some great change-ups down through the middle of the Toronto lineup from Kazmir in the 6th.
All chopped off the front foot of Ivar. Just really encouraging signs for Joe Madden right now to see his lefty Kazmir come out here. He did have that poor outing in Seattle, Safeco Field. You can't ignore that. He was never in a rhythm there. But his last 3 starts now, this one and his last 2 at home, have been really solid performances. 2-2 the count to Ivar as he leads off the bottom of the 6th. Ivar gave Kapler and Deanna Navarro 2 up. Swing and a miss at a changeup. Ivar will head down to first, and Chavez makes the throw to retire him. Second strikeout for Brian Talent. For a limited time, you can get your very own All-Star jersey autographed by a Rays All-Star only through HSN. Visit hsn.com/allstars or call 1-800-284-3100 to purchase your authentic autographed jersey.
You know, the Blue Jays had kept Josh Renicky busy down in the bullpen, and they had a signal that he was ready if Cito wanted to use him to the right-handed hitter Kapler here.
Kapler laces one into left, and that's a base hit in front of Lind. Kapler's going to try and go for second. No, he's not. He decides to head back to first after a big turn. He's a one-out base runner. Good decision to get back to the bag.
Now Kapler jumps on the first pitch from the lefty. I I think Kapler, as he approached the plate halfway, thought that might be it for Talent as well. So he jumps on the first pitch, and now Navi, who swings the bat better right-handed than left, will get a shot at the lefty.
Yeah, that was a seemingly perfect spot to bring in a righty at Kapler, and then Navarro coming up, who has struggled this year hitting left-handed, and then B.J. Upton behind him. But the lefty Talent remains, and Navarro gets to hit from his more comfortable right side. One out, one on. Chopper towards short. Scudero will go to Hill for one. The relay throw bounced. Millar scoops it, but Navarro beats it out.
And Kapler went hard into second base. A good, hard, clean slide into second base to put the pressure on Hill. We'll take another look at this, and that's a big part of why Navarro is safe at first base. Look at Kapler. I mean, this is a double play ball if it's not for Kapler.
Great slide by Kapler. He gets congratulated on the bench, and a hug from Davey Martinez. That was worthy of more than just a fist bump. You get a hug after a takeout slide like that. Although I think with Millar picking it, the Braves may have caught a break. It looked like Navarro was out. Yeah, there's the ball in the glove. Now the Rays had one go against them yesterday, so maybe this one they can take advantage of. B.J. Upton has had 2 full counts tonight. He has walked his first time. He has struck out his last time. He takes a strike there, 1-1. 5-2 Rays. They are out hitting Toronto 10-3. There goes Navarro. The pitch is low, and Navi, without a throw, has himself his 3rd stolen base of the year.
Well, that's the element of surprise, and the Rays will use that from occasion. We've seen Pat Burrell do that, and if you don't check the runner over there, you know, there's a tendency, if you've got a guy like Navarro, the catcher at first, you're not going to pay any attention to him. And if you don't pay any attention to him, the Rays will take advantage of that.
Fun to watch Navi get those wheels moving. Probably takes about 3 or 4 more strides than B.J. Upton when he steals, but it's effective. The element of surprise now puts himself in scoring position, and a single here can add another run for the Rays. One thing Navarro's really good at, as you see him at the bottom of your screen, is those secondary leads. He doesn't have the best speed, but he really can pick up big leads, and that gives him a shot to score on those singles from second. Upton ahead of the count, 3-1. 2 outs. Navarro on second. Rays leading it 5-2. In the dirt, gets away. Navarro with that good secondary lead, getting over to third base. Upton draws the walk.
So that's going to be a wild pitch along with the walk.
See Navarro's lead out there. He sees the pitch get away, and he's already well out there, so he can easily get to third. And that'll do it for Brian Talent. Left-hander goes 5 2/3 innings. Leaves with a couple of runners on, trailing 5-2. That call to the bullpen brought to you by Metro PCS. Unlimit yourself. We'll be back with more after this. started in 3 weeks. So far, he's allowed 5 runs. He's responsible for 2 more on board. And Josh Renicky is the new Toronto pitcher.
Renicky came over from the Cincinnati Reds. He's 27 years old, and he has a very good arm. Command, particularly command in the strike zone, seems to be an issue for him, but he has a major league arm. He's the son of former big leaguer Gary Renicky, and Ron Renicky, the Angels bench coach, is his uncle. So he's got some baseball bloodline.
Couple of brothers in the minor leagues. Family filled with baseball players. He delivers to Jason Bartlett. Swings and fouls one off. 0-1. Oh, the Rays threatening to add to their 5-2 lead with 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Bartlett has grounded out twice to third, and in between he singled, driving home the Rays' first run, and came around to score the Rays' 3rd run. Yonder Navarro's on third base. B.J. Upton's on first, and Chavez wants to get together with Josh Renicky with 2 outs in this inning. Navarro ended up living on a fielder's choice. Rays may have caught a break on the call. He moved to second on a steal, his 3rd steal of the year, and then moved to third on the wild pitch. B.J. Upton on first after drawing a walk. The last batter at Brian Talent face. 0-1 count to Jason Bartlett. Chopped towards the mound. Renicky on one big hop has an easy play, and that'll do it for Tampa Bay here in inning number 6. Couple men left on base. We head to the 7th. It's 5-2 Rays. We move to the 7th, 5-2 Rays. Let's take a look at the Amscott replay. Scott Kazmir with a season-high 7 strikeouts, matching one other outing this year where he struck out 7. For our Amscott replay, Kazmir getting it done against the Jays tonight. Here's Dwayne's stats.
All right, Todd, thank you. As we move into the 7th, the Rays lead 5-2. First pitch to Randy Ruiz is a strike, and that on the heels of Kazmir striking out the side in the 6th. 1-1. He got Lynn, Millar, and Wells all on strikes. Millar and Wells swinging, missing changeups. One and 2. Fastball away from the big right-handed hitting DH. Kazmir had 7 strikeouts against Baltimore back on the 4th of May. Fouled out of play. He's trying to even his record at 7-7, but more importantly, trying to break this 5-game losing streak for the Rays and have the Rays get their 62nd win of the season. Ooh, a fastball up a bit, and it's 2-2.
A lot of pitching coaches talk about first pitch strikes. Jim Hickey likes to think about 2 out of the first 3 pitches being strikes. And tonight, Kazmir has worked more 1-2 counts than I can remember in a while.
Now he's up with a pitch. That'll take the count to 3-2. Line drive into left, and that's going to be a base hit. So Ruiz works a full count and picks up his 2nd hit of the night. Be sure and sign up at Cane's Furniture for a chance to meet one of your favorite Rays players. And if Rays pitchers come up with 10 strikeouts in a game at home, log on to canestrikeout.com and print a voucher to be redeemed at Cane's for a free Papa John's pizza. Get to Cane's today. Well, Kazmir has 7 strikeouts as we open the 7th. The pitch to Encarnacion is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Kazmir just a little over 90 pitches right now as he works here in the 7th. Ground ball, and it just gets by Bartlett. It stayed down as Bartlett tried to backhand it, moving to his right. And that's a base hit. The first 2 men are on here in the 7th.
Play a lot of times you'll see Jason make. It would have been a tough play to get the force at second. He would have had no chance at first. Ruiz had a pretty good jump off first, but play that a lot of times Jason comes up with. I'm not sure if he would have had the out anyhow.
So 2 men on with nobody out, and now it's Jose Bautista. Zobrist breaking to the bag. Time called, and that's a no pitch. Zobrist broke to the bag and then released back to his position. Kazmir went ahead and made the pitch, but time had been granted to Bautista by the plate umpire Adrian Johnson. Outside, 1-0.
This is a big hurdle inning here for Kazmir, Dwayne. He's had so many times this year where he's gone 6, 6 1/3, 6 2/3. Only one other time has he gone through 7 innings.
Swing and a miss. A big cut at the fastball. And the count is 1-1. Here's Russ Springer up in the Rays bullpen down the right field line. Swing and a miss again. 0-2. So he backed up the fastball with a change. Now he's ahead of Bautista. In a bit, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, nobody out. And there's ball 3. Fastball, and Bautista laid off.
Pretty close pitch here. Johnson has not been calling that high strike. That's a little up in the zone. Navarro framed it pretty well, but that was a little bit above the belt, closer to the letters.
And again, Zobrist breaking to the bag at second to shorten up Ruiz. Full count to Bautista. And the bases are loaded. The fastball high. So they're loaded with nobody out.
Kazmir was in such a good rhythm. He had a 7-pitch 5th inning. He struck out the side in the 6th. That was a big at bat right there. He felt like he had struck out Bautista on the 2-2 pitch, and then that 3-2 pitch wasn't even close. So Bautista didn't offer at it. Now Kaz has himself a jam.
So Jim Hickey on the mound to lead this conference, and we'll remind you can join the 2010 season ticket priority list today. Ensure the best seats and get all the great benefits such as postseason ticket opportunities and savings over single game ticket prices. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Well, a big spot right here with the Rays leading 5-2. Blue Jays have the bases loaded in the 7th with nobody out. 100 pitches on the night for Kazmir. And here's Chavez. He goes after a first pitch fastball, fouling it back. That's a strike. Chavez 0 for 2 tonight. Kazmir struck him out with a fastball in the 3rd, and then he had a fly ball to center field in the 8th inning. Rays infield hoping for a ground ball. They gladly give up a run for a double play. That one just missed, and it's 1-1.
Other than that 3-2 pitch to Bautista, Kaz has been pretty much around the plate. That one just a little bit low. Looks like it caught a part of the plate.
And that's all it has to catch. 1-1 now. Ground ball, third base. Longoria to second out there. That's the only one they're going to get as the run scores to make it 5-3. Ruiz crosses the plate. Encarnacion goes to third. Bautista's out. Longoria to Zobrist.
Good slider here, and it was such a good slider that he had Chavez chop the ball towards third. That did not allow a double play. Had that ball been a harder hit grounder, the Rays could have turned two, but that was a good slider for Kaz, and what turns out to be his final pitch.
Well, Joe Madden comes out to make the pitching change. He's made the move down to the bullpen. Kazmir pitches 6 1/3 tonight. We'll be back in just a moment. Presented by the St. Petersburg Times. Got a ticket, Pepsi product, and snack for just $18. This Sunday, the Rays take on this same Blue Jay team, and the first 10,000 kids 14 and under receive a Boss Man Jr. visor, courtesy of TG Lee Dairy. Call 888-FAN-RAYS. First pitch is foul, out of play as Russ Springer takes over on the mound for Kazmir. Scudero at the plate. Scudero has walked and had an infield hit in the 3rd. Little Springer combined making his 52nd appearance. The Rays got him from Oakland. 2 men on here. And that's a strike. The fastball on the outside corner. 0-2. Springer worked the 9th inning last night. And a line drive caught by Zobrist. Zobrist up over his shoulder, reaching across to make the catch. That is out number 2. Well, we'll take a look at the Progress Energy's energized defensive play, and it was a good one by Zobrist. The energized defensive play brought to you by Progress Energy.
Springer left an 0-2 pitch over the plate and up. He got away with it, though, as Zobrist made that play on the line drive by Scudero.
So 2 outs with men still at first and third. Aaron Hill is the hitter. The pitch away. A ball, no strikes. Hill is 1 for 3 lifetime against Springer. And the pitch he takes up. Another fastball. It's 2-0. Hill homered in the 3rd inning to give Toronto an early 2-0 lead. Rays scored 4 in the bottom of the 3rd, 1 in the 5th. The Jays have scored another run in the 7th. 2-0. Fastball by him. 2-1.
Hill expecting fastball, getting fastball, but this one tailed a little bit outside and couldn't catch up with it.
2 outs. Adam Lind is on deck. Randy Choate's been down in the bullpen. The Rays want to get Hill and end this top half of the 7th. It's a foul ball back on a fastball to square the count. 2-2. Hill with 80 runs batted in on the year. The 2-2 and a chopper to third. Longoria is going to go to first, and that retires the side. Springer gets 2 outs. Blue Jays settle for 1, and the Rays lead 5-3, middle of the 7th. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Rays lead 5-3. It's game middle of the 7th inning. Rays coming in to hit in the bottom half of the frame with Carl Crawford due to lead off. Josh Renicky, the pitcher, he got the final out in the 6th inning when the Rays left a couple men on base. They had built a 2-out threat. Crawford has been a threat all by himself. Takes the pitch outside, 1-0. He's 2 for 3 tonight. 2 doubles, 2 runs scored, and 2 runs driven in. He takes a good look at that pitch low. 2-0. So the Rays' lead has been reduced to 2 with the run scored in the top of the inning by the Blue Jays. So the offense would like to go back to work. And Carl takes 3-0. Talon worked 5 2/3, gave up 5 runs, made just over 90 pitches, 91. 5 runs, 10 hits off him. Crawford takes it for a strike. Kazmir worked 6 1/3 for the Rays, allowing 3 runs, 5 hits. He struck out 7. Now 3-1 to Crawford. And he's aboard again. So a leadoff walk puts Crawford at first.
A lot of positives tonight for Scott Kazmir, Dwayne, to take out of this start. He walked a couple early in the game in the 1st inning, and then he didn't walk anybody else until the 7th. He and James Shields reacting after his start. And this is a team that doesn't strike out much. He picked up 7 strikeouts against Toronto. The 5th and 6th inning, that sequence was outstanding, and I think Kaz has a lot of reasons to feel good about this one.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And that gives him 3 good starts at home. 3 out of his last 4 have been good starts. Now Crawford takes the lead. Longoria, the hitter. There goes Carl Boyd. Did he get a jump? Quick release though, and he's safe. He got a great jump, and Chavez made that a play all by himself. That was some release and throw by Chavez.
Normally when Crawford gets that kind of jump, there's no play. But you're right, Dwayne. He took a pitch, Chavez did, that was not an easy pitch. Up and in a little bit. He's kind of crowded by Longoria, and he puts a quick release and a perfect throw down there. He has caught 14 runners stealing this year, has Chavez, and they've only been successful now 19 times. You can see why.
Well, that was impressive right there, because Carl had just a tremendous jump at first. Steal number 54 for Carl. Longoria trying to drive him home again. The pitch is a strike. Well, that time he got the high strike. 1-1. 27-year-old Josh Renicky. He got a little time with the Reds last year and a little time this year. Spent most of his time so far in Louisville until now with the Blue Jays. It's 2-1. Renicky, part of the Scott Rowland deal. It's down. 3-1. Well, the Rays went down in order in the first 2 innings, but they've had men on base in every inning since then. And there's ball 4. So back-to-back walks here from Renicky in the 7th inning. Tomorrow night at Petco Park in San Diego, the USA's best high school baseball players take the national stage. It's the 7th annual Aflac All-American High School Baseball Classic. Craig Biggio joins the live broadcast. Game time is 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports Florida. Ben Zobrist. He takes a strike. Then with a couple hits and an infield hit, he really hustled his way into that hit in the third. Lined a single into left in the fifth, so he's 2 for 3. Foul the other way. 0-2. Rays getting their first look at Renicky. You got Bartlett on a comebacker to end the 6th inning. But a couple of walks here to open the bottom of the 7th, and that's been pretty much the issue with Renicky.
You see, he's got some good stuff.
And you know, when you look at his minor league numbers, he hasn't walked a lot of hitters. Well, they've talked about command within the strike zone. 1-2 now.
A couple of fastballs, free and easy, 94, 95. Then he dropped a curveball out of the strike zone to Longoria, but with really good movement. You can see why you'd want to include this arm in a 3-for-1 deal like they did for Scott Rowland.
A foul ball holds the count at 1-2.
There was that curveball, pretty good curveball in on the hands of Zobrist.
Brandon Lee busy down the left field side in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. Rays scored 4 in the third. They got another run in the 5th. Way high and outside on a fastball. It's 2-2. Run production has come from the top of the order for the Rays tonight. Bartlett has a run batted in. Crawford 2 and Longoria 2. Now 2-2 to Zobrist. And a full count.
Good take right there by Ben. That was another good biting breaking ball that easily he could have chased, swung on top of for strike 3, but that was a good take there, recognizing the spin early.
Renicky has thrown a 3-2 or a 3-1 curveball and a 2-2 curveball to take the count to 3-2. Pickoff play at second, and Crawford is back in. Scutaro sliding in to take the throw behind Crawford. Back-to-back walks have opened the 7th. Three-two, and a high fly ball hit back into left field. Lynn will go back. He's at the track and will make the catch. Crawford's going to tag. So's Longoria. Throw to second will not be in time, and the runners advance on the long fly ball into left center field off the bat of Ben Zobrist.
See Ben right here on the 3-2 pitch. Gets an elevated fastball. May have been ball 4, but he just got under it a little bit. Sent Lind all the way back toward the track. Good job of base running by both guys. Crawford and Longoria realizing early that was going to be a potential to move up. And now they're at second and third. And another pitching change looks like.
So Cito Gaston comes out with a move to the bullpen. Renicky works 2/3. second and third with one out. An opportunity to add to this 2-run lead. Brandon League is the new pitcher, making his 48th appearance. His last appearance came Wednesday. And he's on to face Carlos Pena. The infield close with the shift on. First pitch is down. Scudero's playing right up the middle. He was right in front of the bag at second, and now he's moved over a little bit to the first base side with the infield close.
That shift's been effective against Pena, but it's hard to replicate it the same angle when you bring the infield in. You see three guys across there on the infield, but Pena can hit those rockets on the right side.
And a wave and a miss. It's 1-1. Carlos 1 for 3 lifetime against League. That hit is a home run. He's just really looking for some good contact right here.
When I say it's hard to replicate the shift, because Hill's so far over when he's deep in the shift, but you can't play on the same angle when you're in on the infield because he'd be right next to Millar. So it's a little different angle. Pena's hit it into the shift in that first to second base hole the first 2 times, or the last 2 times he's batted.
League in his last outing worked 3 innings against New York. And this one down, skips away from Chavez. Down the line from third comes Crawford, and the Rays add a run with Longoria going to third. So the Rays get the run on the wild pitch.
Oh, the way the Blue Jays have gone after Carlos Pena in this series, everything has been in. This time they go in too far where Chavez can't even block it. He didn't go to the backhand, tried to scoop it up with the forehand side of the glove, and that ended up costing him as Crawford sees the ball get away, and with his speed, Chavez didn't even have a chance to make a throw.
So now the Rays have a 6-3 lead. 2-1 the count to Pena. That's outside, and it's 3-1.
That's a pitch that was not a good pitch, but with a runner on third base, Chavez needs to at least knock that down.
Longoria now at third. And that's a strike. Caught the outside edge.
Carlos didn't think so. They've been working him so much inside that anything on the outer half of the plate looks like it's way out.
So it's now full at 3 balls, 2 strikes. And that is ball 4, and yes, he did hold up. So a walk puts men at first and third with 1 out.
Tough pitch to hold up here, 3-2. You want to make sure you don't take a called third strike with a runner on third, and he did hold up. Good job by Pena, not going after that breaking ball.
Now Willie Ibar will get a chance to hit from the left side. Three walks and a wild pitch in the inning. The Rays have a run. Ibar fouls it out of play the other way. Willie singled to center back in the 4th. That was as a right-handed hitter against the starter Talent. Down and in. It's 1-1. ball, 2 strikes. Texas with a 3-1 lead. Bottom of the 4th over Boston.
Just a devastating loss last night for the Rangers.
Oh, wasn't it?
And the final strike, final out. 4-2 lead going into the 9th.
Ground ball foul. Bay and Kinsler have hit home runs in that game tonight. The Red Sox in Texas.
Joe Madden was pleased with his at-bats last night, even though Halladay ended up getting the win. Thought the Rays really attacked Doc pretty well. And they did do a pretty good job. Hit a few line drives that turned into outs.
Ground ball through the right side base hit. Longoria scores. Pena digs for third. He's going to make it. It's an RBI single for Ibar, and the Rays now have a 7-3 lead. Ibar driving in his 31st run of the year.
Willie Ibar seems to always hit well in that DH role. Didn't hit as well on that last road trip when he was playing the field, but that was a tough pitch. That was right around the ankles, and all Willie did was serve it between first and second. And they were holding the runner on at first, so a couple more hits tonight. One left-handed, one right-handed for Ibar.
Still just 1 out of the inning, and now Gabe Gross will hit for Gabe Kapler. It's Gabe for Gabe right here in the bottom of the 7th with men at first and third. The Rays with 11 hits, 7 runs. Pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes.
I think the approach tonight has followed up last night's solid approach, and the Rays have not expanded the zone tonight. They've been drawing their walks, 3 in this inning. And they've been swinging at good pitches and good hitters counts, putting up 11 hits so far.
And Gross fouls it out of play. 1-1. So 2 runs charged to Renicky in 2/3 of an inning. Well, these runners belong to League. Time called. Gross stepping out. Too low, down and in. Two balls and a strike. That's ball 3. The League is behind Gross. League has, as we've seen here and on other occasions, a very good arm. His velocity is easily into the mid-90s and sometimes beyond. Hit into center field for a base hit. Pena scores. An RBI pinch hit single for Gross, and the Rays now have an 8-3 lead. Ibar advances to second as Gross hit it hard through the middle into the left of the diving Scutaro.
Well, Gross ahead of the count, 3-1. Gets a fastball in the outer half and takes it right back through the middle. Scutaro diving effort just eludes his glove, and the Rays have another run here in the 7th.
So now it's Navarro. Gross coming through with the RBI single. First pitch is a strike.
Navarro would really like to get something done here. He realizes the situation with Greg Zahn added to the team. He's probably not going to get to see many right-handed starters, but he gets a chance here to swing left-handed in an RBI situation, and this is the side he's been working on the most after struggling this year, hitting lefty.
That's foul, out of play. 0-2. Casey Jansen throwing in the bullpen. Jansen was just recalled from Las Vegas. One ball, two strikes.
Talked about the hitting the last couple of nights, but some positives to build on with the starters too. After a shaky start last night, James Shields really settled in. Got in a great rhythm, retiring 14 in a row at one point, 16 in a row at one point, 17 out of 18. And tonight, Scott Kazmir, a lot of positives. So hopefully those two guys, their second turnaround here in the homestand, will have some positives to draw from their last start.
And a wave and a miss. Navarro is out on strikes. So that'll be the second out. The league, when he has command of his fastball and he couples that with that split finger pitch, he is almost untouchable.
Let's look at that splitter, Dwayne, and this just drops off the table. Look at that sink. I mean, that's near Navarro's knees when it's heading towards the plate, and it just falls off the table. That's got some nasty movement.
2 outs with 2 men on. Here's B.J. Upton. B.J. hits it on the ground. It's short. Scudero with a toss to Hill. Retires the side, but the Rays have a productive inning and lead 8-3.
Eighth inning. Whit Watson back with you on Fox Sports Florida. Chuck and Linda from Palm Harbor gracious enough to lend me their scorebook, and Linda is the one that actually does the scoring. Every time they come to a game, she keeps score. Now, if you don't know how to do this, our broadcast tomorrow on Sun Sports will teach you all the basics. Guys, thank you very much. Want to say hi to the folks back in Palm Harbor. Thank you for the time. Tomorrow on Sun Sports, we'll show you how to keep score. It's geared towards kids. It's going to be really the basics. Join us for our pregame coverage at 1 o'clock on Sun Sports, the game at 1:38, and we'll give you the basics on how to keep score at a Major League ball game. Back upstairs.
Randy Choate, the new pitcher, on to face the lefty Lynn, and he gets him on a bouncing ball out to short. So 1 pitch and 1 out. Gabe Gross, after pinch hitting, stays on to play right field.
Apparently had that first play with his shoes untied.
See, Choate follows Springer. Springer worked 2/3, left a couple men on base, and now Choate will face Kevin Millar. The pitch inside, 1-0. Rays with a 3-run 7th inning to take an 8-3 lead. Outside, it's 2-0.
Told us about the number exchange last night. I forgot to ask Randy today if he got anything else out of it. His first appearance is the number 37 now. He and Russ Springer changing numbers.
The ground ball headed to third. Longoria's got it. So a couple of ground balls. 2 outs. Time for the stay in the game hold of the day, brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. Just as middle relievers keep their teams in the game, you too can stay in the game with Just for Men Hair Color. Choate and Wheeler both had been up last inning briefly, and then there was an anticipation that they should be ready for the 8th. And you know, Choate really didn't get up there to strike and start throwing again until B.J. Upton came up, and B.J. went after the first pitch, and so Choate was suddenly out here taking his warm-up tosses. 1-1 the count. He got Lind on one pitch, and Millar on a 2-0 pitch bounced to third. Now he's on to face Vernon Wells here with the count of 1-1. Ground ball, that's a base hit into right field. So Wells has a base hit. That'll be his first hit of the day. He's now 1 for 4. The 6th hit for Toronto. And now Madden pops up out of the dugout. Randy Ruiz, the DH, is due. So Choate got 2 outs. He got ground balls from Lind and Millar. And Madden's going to go to the bullpen. Back in a moment. Two outs. Wells at first base. Don't forget, Ray's Summer Concert Series presented by Hess Express continues Saturday the 22nd. The Rays take on the Texas Rangers Country Night. Big and Rich performs a free post-game concert. Visit RaysBaseball.com to get your tickets.
Beauty of Sci-Fi Night is you can bring back the robot. The robot has been out for years, but on Sci-Fi Night, bring back those old dance moves.
Dan Wheeler, the new pitcher, to face Randy Ruiz, and the DH takes a strike on the outside part of the plate. Starts him with a slider. Cash Kazmir, Springer, Choate, and now Wheeler on for the 49th time. Big cut and a miss. Breaking ball. 0-2. Rays about hit Toronto 12-6. Wells at first in the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Ruiz missed another breaking ball, and that retires the side. So we head into the bottom half of the 8th with the score 8-3 Tampa Bay. Tobacco-free. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com for more information. By Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Bottom of the 8th inning, Jason Bartlett leads it off for the Rays. And the first pitch from Casey Janssen, the new pitcher, is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Fourth pitcher for Toronto tonight. 2-0. The Rays got 5 off Talent, 2 off Renicky, and 1 off League, and now face Jansen.
Jansen worked out of the bullpen a little bit in the minor leagues, but he has only been a starter this year in 5 starts for the Jays.
2-1. He's had a couple of stints on the disabled list with shoulder issues. Just recalled 2 days ago from their Las Vegas AAA affiliate. It's 3-1. The Las Vegas 51s.
Yes.
There should be some tie-in with
Sci-Fi Night.
Sci-Fi Night. The Las Vegas 51s. And
well, I was hoping between.
It's popped up. Millar in foul territory under it. 1 away.
I was hoping between all the pitching changes it would be fitting for Brian Shouse to pitch. He is the only 52 on B-52's night.
And he was up in the bullpen just briefly, yeah.
Kind of a tease. But now Lance Cormier's up instead, so.
It's kind of a courtesy appearance in the bullpen.
Just a warm-up act. Yeah. Shouse's got a little new look on there, huh?
Yes, he does, yeah.
A little Fu Manchu action.
Well, it's Sci-Fi Night.
Oh, he just grew that tonight?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's through the wonders of science. It happens overnight. 1-0 the count.
He looks very concerned with the activities.
Crawford takes it wide. Well, Carl Crawford with a couple 2-base hits and a walk. He has a steal. He scored 3 times. Hit a fly ball to left his first time, as you look at that scorecard there. And we're going to be involved in that tomorrow, Kids Sunday, the art of scoring baseball. And we'll give you some of the basics of keeping a scorebook. Ground ball to third. Encarnacion makes the play. Just a sneak preview, that would be a 5-3. 2 gone. We'll have more of that, including the big score sheet in center field with Whit Watson and Zach Watson. Here's Evan Longoria. There you go. Another tease for tomorrow. Longoria takes a strike. Got a double and a single, a walk. Well, the post game live comes up immediately following our game. Quite a breaking pitch right there. 0-2. Rays have had runners in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th innings. After the first 2 innings were 1, 2, 3 frames. 2 outs here in the 8th now with the bases empty. Texas has a 4-2 lead on Boston in the bottom of the 5th. It's inside. 2-2. Bay and Martinez have homered for Boston, accounting for their runs. Kinsler hit one early for Texas. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Longoria is out on strikes to retire the side. We're at the end of 8, and the Rays lead 8-3. As we move into the 9th inning tonight from Tropicana Field, wrap-up game of the series, game 3 of the series tomorrow. We'll be with you on Sun Sports at high definition. Mark Zipczynski will do the pitching, the left-hander for Toronto, and Matt Garza's on the hill for the Rays. Matt, after his 8th win of the year, will be with you at 1 o'clock. Leading up to the first pitch. It's a 1:38 first pitch tomorrow. Lance Cormier, pitcher number 5 for the Rays. Pitched the 9th inning. Edwin Encarnacion, first man to face Cormier. Lance's pitch is a strike.
Looking forward to tomorrow. Obviously, learning how to score is going to be fun, but Garza against Toronto has always been a good matchup for Matt. And he's coming off an outing where he was disappointed. The team really were looking for better things out of him in Anaheim, and I think he's going to have a big bounce back start. Maybe try and give the Rays a chance if they hold on here in the ninth to take 2 out of 3.
Pitch is down. 2-1. Kazmir worked 6 1/3. Springer 2/3. Choate 2/3. Wheeler 1/3. And now Cormier. And he falls behind. 3 balls and a strike. Cormier worked 2 2/3 in his last outing, and that was in relief of Garza on Monday. And he walks the first man he faces. That is unlike Cormier, and to a degree unlike Encarnacion.
Very unusual for that combination to draw a walk. Cormier missing with his breaking stuff. He knows the last thing you need in a 5-run game is to get off walk. So try and pound the zone here against Batista.
Kazmir charged with the 3 runs. Batista's having a problem with his batting glove. You know, there are still a couple of guys who just don't even use a batting glove to bat. This became an issue.
I've never seen a defective batting glove. What could have possibly been wrong with a batting glove?
Now the B-52s are waiting. There's a strike at the knees. Any more of that, and he'd have to deal with Fred Schneider personally.
Yeah, that would have been ugly.
That's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cormier wants a new baseball from Adrian Johnson. It's inside. 2-1 now.
Fans starting to get a little restless. Cormier usually pretty good control coming right out of the bullpen.
Ground ball chopped to second. Zobrist to Bartlett. 1 over to first. Nicely done. Bartlett in the middle of that double play gets rid of the throw to double up Batista. 4-6-3 on the double play.
I don't think Batista gets out of the batter's box here. He just head down and kind of jogging because this was not an easy turn for Bartlett, and he shuffled his feet and he gets them by 4 strides. And Zobrist hangs back, takes the second hop, and then Bartlett has to get out of the way. Encarnacion trying to break it up, but Batista was not busting it.
Chavez, the pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes. He may realize that he'd already upset Fred Schneider.
Yes.
So he's making up for it.
There you go.
The B-52s await.
They are on deck.
1-0 the count here to Chavez. Pitch inside. 2-0. 8-3 the Rays lead. 1 out away from snapping the 5-game spin. There's a strike. 2-1.
In the scheme of this season, this is a pretty large game for the Rays. They really needed to turn around. A tough road trip. First loss of this homestand to Roy Halladay, and Scott Kazmir did a nice job.
Upstairs. Stay with us now for the post-game coverage. As soon as we're finished here, we'll go into Rays Live, the post-game. (3-1) here it is. And a high pop up left side, foul ball. Longoria waits. Got it. Rays win. So Cormier works the ninth, and the Rays are 8-3 winners over the Toronto Blue Jays. We'll be back in just a moment with the totals.